everybody. It's Joey Hartman, and I'm here with day 2 of our Christmas in July projects. It's a 3-day event that I collaborated with my friends Julie Salva and Alejandra Gomez to bring you 3 projects every day that we each created as a craft along. So if you pre-purchased the kit, you already have all the supplies to make these, plus a lot of extra product to make more. And we are here to show you how to make them. If you're just joining to watch, thank you. We love that you're here for that. And we'd love to know that you're watching and where you're from. And I would personally like to know if you are watching on YouTube or Facebook. Facebook can be really glitchy. It's set up to go live on both, but sometimes it doesn't show up, and I'm hoping it does. So feel free to chat and as you're watching and ask questions. I do sometimes miss the comments just because I'm crafting and making the cards, but I always come back and answer your comments. Now, I had a question yesterday. One of my friends that bought the kit texted me, and she said she wasn't able to comment on the YouTube video, and I went to try and check that this morning. There was something about, she said, if you're not subscribed, you can't comment. I went back to my YouTube channel and tried to make sure everybody could comment. I don't know whether I accomplished that. It says comments are on, so I hope everybody can comment. But if not, just subscribe. That's a good idea anyway, so you don't miss any future videos. All the links for my online store, all my events. I have a new Stamp-A-Stack started. It's called the Jar of Joy. I'll show you those projects as we're getting through the video. Other than that, let's just go ahead and get started. So I'm going to click you down to my desktop, and then while we're doing that, I'm going to check to see who is watching. And you can't see this, but currently I'm going to take off my Santa hat because although it's not as hot today as it was yesterday, it is humid and it annoys me. Hi, Donna. Oh, you're always watching on YouTube. Yes, I think you've told me that. Hi, Nancy. YouTube. Jamie's, you have to be signed in, I think, not subscribed. So Jamie's saying that she thinks you just have to be signed in and not subscribed. So make sure you're signed into your own channel. I think that's what she's sharing. So that's probably true. I trust that she would know, and I trust that I don't really know. These are the projects we made yesterday. So if you were with us yesterday, you saw us make these projects. This is just a beautiful card using the, we're using for all 3 of us girls used the Jolly Holly bundle with the embossing folder, the stamps, and the dies. So that's what we made yesterday. That was one of them. These were my projects, actually. And this is a gift card holder that we made yesterday. And you just slip this little card out. You can slip a gift card in, or you don't have to slip a gift card in. You can just make this your card and put your greeting in there. And then there's the easy peasy little belly band that goes around it like this. And it's not too bulky to mail. I think you could definitely mail it like that. And this is the 3rd card we made to just show how the embossing folder is die cut. I know it's really kind of hard to see, but can you see the dimension? I have these little hollies, they pop up. I know on Julie's video yesterday, or the day before she made my cards, she was making sure that these were popped up. You could probably even put a little dimensional. You can't see it on the video, but there is more dimension that shows in person, obviously. And it's really hard to see this embossing folder, how pretty it is. Are we using embossing folder today? I'm looking at the projects we're making today. Yes, we're using it today, so you'll get to see it in action again. If you missed that video, it's on my YouTube channel, and every video has the same thumbnail, the photo. Other than I did go back the day before yesterday, and I added the photos of the projects we're making each day. I don't actually know what order the other girls are making their projects in. I think they're doing, well, at least I think Julie's doing the same as mine. Yesterday I showed the little gift that we made to add our little, we gave everybody a little hand cream. They don't all look like this little guy. We got these on Amazon. Let me grab the tin they were in. Hang on. Now, one thing I did forget to do was to list these on Amazon. So this is but I can go back and do that. I'll try to remember that. We have landscaping going in today, my friends. So life is lifing. I mean, a big landscaping project all around the house. Every side of the house. We redid the front bed. See if I can get this open and be smarter than the tin. The front beds and the sides of our house and around the back. But these come, you know, with this little, this could be a whole gift in itself, but there were 6 of these little hand creams in this little tin. You could probably search Amazon for Christmas hand cream, and this might come up. But that's what we got though. So I had a question about that, and I wanted to make sure that I showed you today. And this is just one of our clear envelopes that we sell, and I just made this easy little tag topper. You know what, I could send out, you know what, I'll send out the PDF. I haven't made a PDF for this, but I will. That's what I'll do for you this week. If you're on my newsletter subscribers, I will send this as a gift to my whole newsletter group. So if you're not subscribed, you want to make sure you are. There's a link below the video. And so I'll send this out so that you can get the instructions. And I'll try and find the link on Amazon. I'm sure I can find it because it will be under my orders. And I'll add the link for this. Julie made a little box actually for hers. But Allie, I don't know what Allie did. I think she and I did both the same. I came up with this little, we wanted something that would pack easily in your packages and not get crushed. So that's why we made this pretty much as simple as we could. But sometimes those little things are fun to have for an idea of gifts to give coworkers or teachers or, you know, people like that are in your lives. So, okay, and before we get to the project, I will just show you my Christmas in July not Christmas in July, first Christmas Stamp-A-Stack. We've got a lot going on, my friends. So I'm offering a Stamp-A-Stack using the Jar of Joy, and you'll get supplies for 12 cards, so 3 each of 4 designs. I'm going to just give you those sneak peek really quick. I used did I say the Jar of Joy Christmas stamp set, and then the coordinating sweet jar punch for these. Everything's done for you except for the bits that are part of the bundle, and then and you'll get products with this. You're getting DSP with it, some gems, some ribbon. So if you want to know more about that, there is a link that you can find all the details. And if you would like to purchase that class, it's available. All right, so now, in case you didn't watch yesterday, this is the stamp set we're using. The Jolly Holly is a stamp set, so it has lots of pretty Christmas greetings. And then it has these dies. It has 2 little frames that are stitched. It has joy. We're going to use this today. And this embossing, well, the embossing folder is a hybrid embossing folder. This is the die. That's what we used for my red card yesterday. And for this, you just fit this in your die and run it through, and then it embosses and die cuts. Of course, you're going to put your paper here on the side where the blade goes up. Now, I know if you watched me yesterday, you saw me do that. Today, we're not going to do the die cutting. We're just going to use the embossing. So, just so you know what we're doing here today. I am going to get out my PDF tutorial. So this is a PDF tutorial. There is a cover sheet. I just didn't print mine for this, for working with it today. But so my 3 cards, we're going in order. If you purchase the craft along, we're going to be right in the order. And if you put in a $75 order this week with me, and there's a link for my store in the video description, you'll get all the supplies for these cards as well. Now this will be just like what I'm showing you today, only without the additional products, because the girls that bought the class, they got 2 packs of DSP, they got some gems, they got some ribbon, they got some twine. But you can get all the supplies for these for just an order. Now, if you put in a $50 order, you can get the PDF tutorial for free. I'll just send you that. And then if you just want the tutorial, you can also purchase that for $25. We have 3 different price ranges for you to be able to craft with us and do our craft along. Now let's get going here. We did these 3 yesterday, and then today we're going to do Allie's project. So I am going to go in the order of the PDF. And just so you know, if you weren't watching yesterday, so the photos show our current projects, and then there's an additional photo of our first designs that we did using the Take a Bow. I always don't know. I always hesitate. I'm just going to say Take a Bow Designer Series paper, even though we made bows with it, so it's kind of confusing. But that paper sold out before our deadline for our class, so we switched it up and went to the Season of Green and Gold plus the Regal Distressed DSP. And I'm trying to get closer here. So that's why you have multiple pictures of different cards. But that is a plus, I think. So even if you have any red and green cardstock, you can make these cards. So we're going to make a box today, and a treat holder, and 2 Christmas cards. Alrighty, so I've got some notes here. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to actually look at your comments before we get too far here, and then I'll check them again as we go. So this is the actual, I have a lot of bits here, so I'm going to try and not lose everything before I even get started. This is the card we're making. Isn't this so pretty with the gold foil and the joy? We did the gold foil on my card yesterday too, but we're doing it again today. And this is a fun fold. So this is what this looks like from the top. Like this. And then this would be considered to be the inside of your card. So you can still write a little bit. I think today I'm going to put my message up a little higher so I'll have more room to write. But that's your basic fold of the card. So there you go. We're going to make this, and let me show you how. Now, if you're crafting along, let me check my comments quick. Julie's here. Hi, Julie. Excited to see day 2. Georgia, I made that 3rd card, and it's cool how the die frame slipped in the leaves. Oh, good, Georgia. I'm glad you made it. Since I am a hobbyist demonstrator, I appreciate the option of buying just the PDF. Yes, you're welcome. And I always have a PDF, and I don't know why. Sometimes I forget to offer it. And Allie's really good about that. I've been, visiting with her about things we're offering and serving our customers. And she's really, really good about always offering the PDF. And I'm going to get better at it. Okay, I'm going to get this folded first, and I'm going to go over folding it with you. Like so. Okay, so let's look at the folds on this. Let me grab her PDF, and let's see. Fold the guard base. So this piece is 8 1/4 by 5 1/2. So it's a little bit different than we usually do. We usually do 8 1/2, but we have cut this off to 8 1/4. Don't look at those numbers. They don't mean anything. I guess I'm too high anyway for you to see. And then we scored it at 1 7/8 and 2 7/8 on both sides. So then we turned it around to do this. This is 1 7/8. This is 2 7/8 from this end, and then the same from this end. 1 7/8 and 2 7/8. So that gives us our basic fold, and that makes this part across the top 4 1/4. But you don't have to remember that part but I'm just telling you that's why the 8 1/4 is the measurement rather than the 8 1/2. So this is how our card folds, like so. Make sense? So let's go ahead, and this will be the front of the card. I'm going to kind of straighten this back out. If you haven't folded your card yet, it might actually be easier to put the DSP on without folding your card. Now let's take a look at the DSP pieces. So we have 2 pieces that are the same out of the green and gold, the Season of Green and Gold paper. I'm really sorry to say, my friends, that this paper has now also sold out. If you bought the class, you're golden because you have all this. And if you order this week, the $75 order, I have enough supplies to create your cards for you. And again, if you put in a $50 order, you're going to get the PDF for free as well, or you can just purchase a PDF as we talked about. But I want to talk about this paper. It's super, super pretty, and it has all the green and gold in it. Now, here's the thing. August 5th, and these lay out like this, I think. Yep. And then this one lays out like this. August 5th, we demonstrators will be able to see the new holiday catalog, and we'll be able to pre-order actually that same day. So we are going to have a lot, I'm hoping, a lot of Christmas papers. So it's coming, my friends, it's coming. We just have sold out of the 2 Christmas papers that we girls were designing with, but there's more coming. I'm sure it's going to break my budget just like it does every year. Now, let's talk about these. These pieces are, let me look, Designer Series paper, leaf pattern are 1 3/4 by 5 3/8 this way. This is Alejandra's project, as I said, and she likes 8s. I do 8s sometimes, but she likes 8s quite a bit. So this 5 3/8 this way again, and then it is 1 3/4 this way. So both of those, you need 2 of those. If you bought the kit and I sent you a little note ahead of time with the PDF and said you might want, if you're actually crafting along with me, you will want to go ahead and have your paper cut and your die cutting done. We're just going to leave that tiny 1/8 of an inch border there. Same with this guy. And let's go ahead and stick this guy on. We have lots of fun folds for you in this class. A couple of gift card holders. We have 2 treat boxes. And then, just some pretty cards. But these are great projects to start early, so that you're ready for Christmas. So that's what we have. So here's the way this folds from the top, and then here's how we have our paper, like so. Now let's go ahead actually and stamp the inside of our card so we have that done. I'm going to grab the wishing you and yours all the best. Now, Julie got mixed up with her dates, and she actually started a day early before Allie and I started. And I watched part of her video. It just came up on my feed because I follow her. And she said, oh, Allie stamped this in Memento, Early Espresso. So I have Early Espresso out here. Well, that's backwards, isn't it? Well, it doesn't matter. You don't care. We're just going to keep on stamping here. And I am going to, as I said, put this greeting closer to the top. Wishing you all the best. Now, you cannot honestly, I couldn't tell from Allie's pictures, and I don't read as much as I follow pictures, so I should have read it. So I did it exactly like she did it. But on my sample, I did Memento Black. So you can do Memento Black. We tried to actually narrow down the supplies for all these cards so that you didn't have to buy 10,000 different things products to make our cards. But if you want to use Memento Black, you use that. It works just as well. And now let's go ahead. She probably did use this for the holly as well. I'm guessing she did. We'll just go ahead with hers, and then I'll show you the difference between mine and hers. Let's see, we got room up here. We better go down here. Let's go down here with this guy. We'll just go straight down like that. And while we've got our ink out, why don't we go ahead and stamp the greeting panel. You know, didn't I just say I don't want to lose all my bits, so I'm going to put them. Okay, here we go. If you watch me, you know that I lose things. Let's just get everything out here. This is what our greeting is going to go on. And I did already fussy cut my branch, but I'm going to fussy cut one with you just in case you want to see how to do that. If you haven't seen that before. Okay, getting ahead of myself. We wanted to stamp this greeting. So this greeting is wishing you, I think, a bright and happy Christmas. What is it? Bright and happy Christmas wishes. So I'm going to ink up my early espresso. And get out of the way, buddy. Okay. Oh, not there, Joey. Oh, gosh. Okay. I'd like to say I'm distracted because of all the landscaping stuff that's going on today, but I'm kind of like this normally anyway, so I don't think I can even use that as an excuse. So we've got bright and happy Christmas wishes. So now that's in early espresso, and I just don't think you're going to be able to tell that I used Memento Black, but we'll get to that shortly. Let's keep moving on our card here. Now, I think Allie used, I don't know what she used, but we kind of, girls in general, we used Old Olive and Cherry Cobbler blends because the Old Olive is in the paper and the Cherry Cobbler is in the paper too. So this is light Old Olive and dark Old Olive. Now, yesterday I pulled out my Granny Apple Green blends. If you have these work well too. Even Mossy Meadow would work well because all three of those greens are in this paper. But today, for the sake of how Allie's description is in her PDF, we are going to go with these guys. Set this aside. Let's go ahead and color these. We're going to go with light Old Olive. And I do see comments popping up, and I'm sorry. This is light, right? Didn't we check that? Yes. Light Old Olive. And now I've mentioned before, I'm not the world's most artistic colorer, but, you know, who cares? This is crafting. It's supposed to be just fun, not supposed to be stressful. Okay, this is dark Old Olive, and the artists, you know, the Stampin' Up! Artists help us out because they've got, you know, little details that kind of show you where it should be darker. Now, I know there's probably going to be a little bit of a shadow along towards the berries on this holly, so I'm going to put a little bit of dark right there. Then I am fancy enough to go back with my other markers and blend this together. So this is fancy coloring where you use more than one color in your markers. You might not call it that, but I call it that. Okay, so we're just going to shade those. That's kind of how it looks. You don't have to be a fussy colorer. You can just color one color and be happy with it. I'm going to go with light Cherry Cobbler. You can do dark, doesn't matter. You can do real red. If you don't have Cherry Cobbler, you just use real red. Alrighty, there's the inside of our card. And then when it comes Christmas time, I have a little room to write here. Let's go ahead and put this on the inside here. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm so happy you're here watching, whether you're watching live or you're watching replay. I know your time is valuable, and I love that you choose to spend some of it with me. Whether you're watching live or on replay, I'm just really happy you're here. Okay, so there's the back of our card. Here's the front of our card. Now we're ready to put this together. Well, we are going to do some fussy cutting. So there's a couple of patterns in this paper that have leafy branches on them. Let me get it out. So I have my 12 by 12 paper here. So is that one with, okay, so this one with the bells, that also has these branches that you can cut out too. I'm trying to find the one where I cut mine out of, so I'm not cutting out. Sorry about this, it should have this. See, this is the one I cut out. So I think I'm going to actually go back to this piece and not cut out of a brand new piece and use the same one for my flower. But there's multiple stems and flowers you can use for this. I'm going to come over to this one here. Oops. And let me grab my scissors, and we're going to do this together because I realize some of you might be watching for the first time, or maybe you haven't done fussy cutting before. And it's a great way to use your designer series paper and get all that you can out of it. I love these gold bells though. I think they're really pretty. The stamp set, these papers were part of a whole suite last Christmas in the holiday mini, and they carried them over because they were so popular. Well, now this one is gone again, but there was the stamp set that went with these. The bundles had dies that cut these out. Now I'm just leaving a little bit of border around the little bit of white border, and I'm moving my paper. So I know some of you don't love fussy cutting. Some people do love fussy cutting. I'm okay with it. We've made friends. I don't love it. I'd rather pull out a die, but I don't mind it once in a while, and I think for this card it's perfect. Now I'm going to cut away some of that extra paper. Am I close enough that you can see? Let me stand up so I can get a little bit closer to the camera. And I'm just gently cutting around these leaves. Now I mentioned to you that we're having landscaping done. It might get noisy. They're going to be right outside my window for part of this today. Oh, what are you going to do? We had this planned to do this work like 3 months ago, and of course this would be the week, my Christmas in July week, that we have people here working outside. We're excited about it though. I did take pictures. I'll post them on my Create with Joey page so you can see them too. I took before pictures, and then I'll take after pictures. I'm excited about it. Oh, and now Teddy, our dog, is not liking the fact that the landscape people just showed up. So, you know, we're going to probably have that going on too, kids. So, welcome to Joey's house while life is life. Alrighty. Now, if Steve isn't home, that he could go corral Teddy, you know, it's all the way it is today. It's okay. It's the way it's going. And it's just going to have to be okay. All right, now, I think I'm going to put this down flat. Teddy, no bark. No bark. Sorry, kids. I've got to see if I can get my puppy to quit barking at these guys, because they're going to be here all during the video. All right, now I'm just going to make this one flat. I'm not going to really stick this down really hard. Teddy, no bark. Sorry, everybody. It's just one of those days. All right, so this is going to go here. Let me think what I'm doing here. This is going to go kind of up here. And then this is going to go like this. How loud is that in the phone, you guys? He's fairly close to my camera. I don't really want to run and corral him, but if I need to, I will. If you can't hear me over him, let me know. Now, on Alejandro's card, she went ahead and she flagged the ends of hers like this, and that's what your picture is. I'm not the best at that with the scissors. All you really need to do is to cut in like this right here, and then cut in from the corners, but somehow I never seem to do that. very evenly. I'm just not great at that. So I'm going to do my famous, yes, I'm sure I invented it, my famous way of just angling the corners, and we're going to call that good today. Oh, have I done? No, I did this right. Okay, sorry, I got distracted. Now, I did see Julie, since she started, I think I mentioned she started this a day ahead. Unintentionally, she was a day early. I saw her put mini dimensionals on this, and I had been rolling up glue dots. Yeah, you can make those fit. Maybe not right here, but let's try it and see what happens. That's going to show a little bit there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel that off. You can peel off your mini glue dots. I have a little scrap of the edges of my my dimensionals, and I'm just going to cut a very small piece. So let's just go really skinny here. You know, you can always cut your dimensionals. Hopefully you know that. If you didn't know that, then today you found out. There's a little skinny on the J right here. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, didn't want to stick. Let's try it again. We do have gold foil is available in the online store. Silver foil is also available in the online store. The berries that we're using for these are available. The gold ribbon, which is one of my favorite ribbons. I've gone through several rolls of that already. It's available. Okay, I'm just going to try and place this down a little bit. I'm going to get my bearings here. And then this will go here. But the thing that's going to determine where we're going to put all that is the bow that actually goes behind the ribbon. So I'm going to grab my ribbon, the gold striped ribbon. If you guys don't have this, you need this ribbon. This is the prettiest ribbon ever. So I'm going to make a loop, go around my loop with this side, push that through while I'm holding the beginnings of the bow together and pulling it through like this. I'm trying to keep that knot very flat. If you keep it flat, it just how do I say it? Bows really nicely. I don't know. A bow can bow, I guess. If you're watching replay, you probably already know you're watching the replay of a live video. This is live crafting, so people can chit-chat and follow along. Now, let's see. How are we going to do this guy? I think we want it to go this way. We're going to put this guy here. Actually, I probably should have made that a little bit bigger. I'm going to pull these loops out just a touch because we're going behind the greeting on this one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put mini glue dots on the front of my bow for this guy. So let's go to the mini glue dots. I just bend my mini glue dots back, and now I'm going to put the front of my bow down there because it's going to fit on the back of our greeting. So it's going to go like this, like so, like that. Doesn't that look pretty? Allie's kind of a fancy stamper, and she does things that are very accessible, but she might be a little fancier than I am. Sometimes I get fancy. All right, now let's turn this over and go ahead and put some dimensionals on both sides of that bow, and see if we like the way this is getting together here. I'm going to place this at the bottom of my circle here, and I think I want my joy to come at a little bit more of an angle. Remember, I didn't press it down, so I can still kind of gently move it. So I'm going to kind of go put my joy into the flowers a little bit more and be just a tad bit more at an angle. I don't know if I like that either. We're going to call it good, though. It can go anywhere. You know, only you and I are putzing about this. The person's going to get the card and go, oh, that's pretty, you know, not think anything about it. Actually, no, I don't like it. I'm moving it. I'm going to move it down just a touch more. There. I like that better. Okay, now let's put this on our card. We're just about done with this card. So I want to make sure that I don't have my dimensionals going off into this section, or that's going to glue my card shut. So I'm turning it over, and when I turn it over, I can feel where the dimensionals on the front are, and I don't want to double up on the dimensionals I already have on here. So I'm putting these dimensionals within this strip. Make sure you don't go to the outside of that strip. And then maybe one more here. I guess I could even go one more there. So I want this to be sturdy because this is going to be a movable part on your card. So you want this to be together when your friend or loved one opens your card. We don't want this to be falling off when they open it. Okay, so there we go. Now let's go like this right here. Isn't that pretty? It's so, so pretty. I love that. I really love doing collaborations with both Julie and Allie. I've done several with Allie and a couple with Julie, and we just have so much fun crafting together. Isn't that what crafting is all about, is having fun, either on your own in your craft room, just enjoying it, or with other people. Alrighty, now we are going to color some gems. We are going to do some single gems and some berries. So let's get this guy out. These are the pearl gems. I know it's kind of hard to see them, but they're called cherry cobbler and pearl berries, I think. I don't know. It's on my PDF, and you can find it there. If you just start off in the online store with cherry cobbler and pearl, the berries will come up. All right, now Allie did something that Julie and I didn't do on our project. She took the Darling Duckling blends marker. Did you know you could color your gems with the blends marker? Let me bring out my silicone mat so you can actually see me coloring. So I'm going to just color. This is my dark Darling Duckling. Now this, if you have Daffodil Delight blends, you can use those. If you have Lemon Lolly, you could use those. Lemon Lolly probably wouldn't show up as much, but you could definitely use Daffodil Delight too. The Darling Duckling is a lot more gold. It's a little more gold than the, see, how many do I want here? I guess just 2. We'll just color 2. So you can do this with your alcohol markers, and it's so fun. So any like white stone, like our pearls or our rhinestones, anything that's white and light, you can color with blends markers, which makes, you know, one more way to get more out of your investment in your blends markers. We're going to go ahead and put some berries up here. Whoops, that's too close to the joy. Whoops, that's stuck. There we go. And let's put another one down here on the white. And then, I'm not ignoring you, my friends. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep moving with this, and I just haven't looked at the comments yet. And, or for a while anyway, I haven't. Let's just do one on our greenery here. Like that. Isn't that so pretty? It's just so pretty. And this is not a lot of work. I mean, there's a little bit of detail, especially with the fussy cutting on this, but you can make multiples of these easily by Christmas time. And have even a whole set of these. So that's Allie's first card. It's our first project today. Alrighty, let's go to, alright, I'm going to tackle the box next. So this is our next project. This is a little treat holder. So it's a cute, it's a darling little box. You could fill this with Hershey's Kisses or the Peppermint Kisses or anything like that. We're going to make this The reason I'm hesitating is this is not a box pattern that I usually make. I do make my own boxes. My boxes are a little bit simpler than this. So in the PDF, there is a photo of how to cut your paper. So now this is real red, and I did this so we could just look at it. We are going to cut this together. We're going to cut our box together so you can see how to do it, because I think that's important for you to be able to recreate this box. Okay, so now let's go over the dimensions of this. Again, this is a teaching video because this is a craft along, so I'm going over more details than I might in one of my regular videos on Facebook Live. This is, I want to say 5.5, but don't listen yet. It is 6.5 by 5.5, so I was right that way. 5.5 this way, 6.5 this way. And I know you can't see that, so you just have to trust me. My numbers are out of the screen. So, again, that will be 6.5 this way and 5.5 this way. Now, we have scored this at, let me get my directions out here. Let me just, okay, here. Let me move the camera. Don't look if you get motion sick. I'm going to move the camera just a little bit down here so you can see my ruler better. And move this up a touch too. Okay, so I want to show you my score lines. So along the 6.5 side, and you can't see it because I've got all my banners here. Let me get rid of my banners for a minute. Let's see here. I have to look up on my screen what I'm doing. Let's get rid of these banners, at least for now. Hang on, sorry. Technology, you know, again, great when it works. Well, maybe I can just move this. There we go. I can just move it. There we go. Now you can see. Sorry about that. Okay, so now down in the corner, now you can see the numbers better. Okay, let's try that again. You're going to score the 6.5 side at 1/2, 1.5, 3.5, and this is all in the PDF tutorial. So if you've got that already or you get it this week, you will be able to have that. So 3.5, and the next is 4.5. That's along the 6.5 side. Alrighty, so then try to ignore all this. I did this so I didn't screw this up on the video. Then you turn it this way, and this is the 5.5 side, and this is real easy here. It's 1 inch right here at the 1, and then the 3.5, and then the 4.5. Okay, so again, the 5.5 inch side is 1 inch, 3.5, and 4 inches on that side. All right, now we're gonna cut away. I used Allie's example here, and this is in the PDF, but she put X's on where we need to cut. So, and then she put dotted lines on where we're scoring. So I went ahead and I'm going to put my paper the way she's got her paper, and then I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to cut. All right, let's turn it this way so we can kind of tell what we're doing. We're going to go down here. This is where that skinny side is. We're going to go there, and then we're going to cut this off, just like so, like that. Now, this is the flap that's going to fold in where I have that yellow. So I'm going to go here, and I'm just going to take off this little tab as well, like that. Okay, so now we've got to start with that, and I'm going to turn it back this way, because that's the way the picture goes, and I kind of need to look at the picture. And now we're just going to cut up here. All right, let me think, Joey. Okay, we're going to cut. Actually, we're going, oh, I don't want to mess this up. I need to look at the one I've already cut. I don't know why this box is giving me heart palpitations. All right, let's go. We're going to take off this. Okay, so this is where I'm cutting. This stays because that tab has to stay. And then we're just cutting where on my diagram I have the X's. Now obviously on yours I didn't put X's on them, but there we go. And then we're just going to go here. Am I doing this right? No, I'm not doing this right. Am I? Hang on. Yes. Okay, yeah. So we go all the way to here. I'm sorry, I'm not helpful today. And and then we're going to go all the way on this one because we're going to cut out this whole square. Make sense? I made 2 of these the day that I made these. I'm sure there's an easier way to do this. And now I'm cutting off those squares. And in your sample, that's where Allie marked those X's. So that's why we're cutting that out. So far we have this. Okay. Now we've got this one more tab we're going to cut off here where the X is. So here we go. There we go. So far, this is what we have so far. Or if I'm looking at Allie's pattern, Allie's goes like this way. Okay? Now, this we have to cut down here so that this will fold into our box. Make sense? All right, now let's turn this way. This is just going to fold like this. Let's turn this way so we can cut this. This is a score line. That's scored, but this one is cut. So that's going to match our tab on this side. So let's cut this one. And I'm making kind of a tiny V there instead of just cutting it straight. And then this one as well. Making that tab right there, just like that. And then this one makes the tab as well, right here. And Lord willing, I've done this right. I hope I've done it right. I don't want to screw you up. I don't care about screwing up my own projects, but I really don't want to screw yours up. Yes, that is the way our picture looks. When we look at Allie's picture, this is the way it looks, like this, okay? Now, she rounded her corners. If you have a corner rounder, we've had many corner rounders over the years. We've had multiple ones, and I'm guessing if you've been crafting for very long at all, you have a corner rounder. I'm going to use this one. This is the last one I bought. We're going to round these 2 corners because this is the flap that's going to fold in. So on my corner rounder, if you have this one, whoops, that doesn't look like it's going to work. I have to fold that back so I can get this in. There's a guide here, and I'm going to go all the way in on both sides. And then punch. Did that punch? No, it didn't punch. Try that again. There we go. And then this one the same. I'm going to go in and match up my corners. And you don't even have to do this. If you don't do that, I would just angle off those little places right there. All right, kids. There we go. We've got our box. I maybe better not call you kids. You might not want to be called kids for one thing, but then I'm also not sure if, you know, the machines that listen to all the YouTube videos, this is not made for kids. You have to click, is this made for kids? And I always click, no, it's not made for kids. All right, now let's get rid of these Post-its. I just was a little overzealous about making sure I didn't screw this up for you. There we go. So this is what this looks like before we start folding it all together. But what I want to do is I want to put some of our Designer Series paper on here. So I'm going to grab my Designer Series paper and my greeting tag and my circles. I've got all kinds of stuff here. These 2 pieces go here. And let me read you these dimensions. So let me see what we've got here for dimensions for Allie. On the Designer Series paper, the cherry cobbler pattern, there's 2 pieces of cherry cobbler that are the same size. So we have these 2 pieces. These are 7/8 by 1 7/8, these two. Wait a minute, 2 pieces that are 7/8 by 1 7/8. 2 pieces that are 7/8 by 2 3/8. 7/8 by, okay, hold on, hold the fort. These go here, I think, yeah, like this. This is how this is going to come together. And then this guy goes up here. So let's measure those, everyone. I almost called you kids again. Everyone, and this is, so this is going to be the one that's 7/8 by 2 3/8. So you have 2 of those. This one's measurement is 1 7/8 by 2 3/8. So you have 2 of those. And then this one is your only one that is 7/8. I'm pretty sure it's 7/8 again by 1 7/8. Okay. I better check those dimensions over again and make sure. I did just, when the girls sent me their instructions, I didn't go through them. I just copied them and pasted them because it's quite a big project. Now I'm going to stick this back in here, my corner rounder, and I'm going to try to make sure that's in the corner. Sometimes I'm corner rounder challenged. Now I want this one to be rounded. And there we go. It's not perfect. It's fine. It's good. Let's go ahead now, and I'm going to tape down. It would be better to use glue for this. Those of you that hate green glue. I know Julie doesn't like green glue. I didn't watch her making this box. She might have not used glue. And maybe for the sake of video, since it takes a little longer, I will just switch to my tape runner. But whenever I make treat boxes and 3D items, I always use glue. There we go. I didn't get that corner rounded too well, but I don't think it shows that well. So for sake of time, I'm going to go in and grab my tape runner. Whoops, come on. And this side has the gold flecks too, little gold stars kind of. Put this in here. Now I'll put this piece here. And go right here. I know, you feel like I'm ignoring you. I haven't looked at comments for quite a while. This box, my friends, for me, takes focus. I do a little bit simpler boxes. I love this pattern, and Julie does it. I know Julie has done this as well. Okay, so we got this. We need one more that goes here. It's just a little bit easier to do your designer series paper on your boxes when they're not folded. You can do it after they're folded, but it just makes it a little bit easier to do it that way. So that's what we have. If you want to take a screenshot of that, that's what we have so far. Now, let's go ahead and let's fold up our box. I can see that I actually need to trim this. It's not a very straight cut right here, so I'm going to come in here and straighten this out a bit. Make sure it's even like that. Okay, that'll work. Now, let's see what we want to do here. Let's go ahead and, Allie shows in her picture that she put tear and tape. I'm going to grab my tear and tape on this one. And, you know, before I do that, I'm going to trim up this corner a little bit. I'm going to just angle this a little bit. Now, believe it or not, I make normally, especially seasons where I'm doing craft fairs, and when I do craft fairs, I do multiple craft fairs, so I haven't done all that prep for just one. I use both glue and tear and tape on my boxes. It depends, you know, what's going to close up where. I would probably actually use glue on this if it was for a craft fair, because for a craft fair, you know, I'm making them, then I'm packing them up. I didn't get that long enough. We'll just make a little bit, another piece. Hang on. I'm going to pull this off first before I add another piece. I make a lot of boxes, and they go, you know, I have to pack them in to move them to the craft fair, and then sometimes, normally I actually sell out of everything, but when I don't sell out of everything, I have things to bring back. I have to pack them up again, and then for the next craft fair, I'm packing them up again. So what that does is put some wear and tear on the boxes, and I find that green glue just holds them together so much better. You do not want your treat boxes or any of your other projects coming apart. Okay, I grabbed a little extra piece of glue. I'm going to put that on here because we want the corners to stay closed. I hope you'll try some of these projects, even if you didn't get the craft along kit, or you can still get the kit, but I hope you'll try these. Okay, let's go ahead and we can fold. Here's how I'm going to do this. I'm going to fold over that edge with the tear and tape, and I'm going to fold this side right up there to meet that. And so I'm pushing it down flat like so, and now we have our box. Isn't it cute? It's going to be super cute. Now we're going to fold these guys in, and then we're going to fold this guy up, and then this is that right? No, 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 Joey, no. Yes, that's right. Okay, so we want, this is the front of our box like this, right? It's going to be the front. So I'm folding the back flap in first, and that's the side with the tear and tape on it. And now I'm folding that over like that. And that makes the folded edge of our card or our treat box go to the, is on the front, and the back is on the back. Now see already, I would, you know what, here, I can't do it. I've got to put a little bit of glue on this. There's the tape, but on this flap, I'm going to add a little glue. One of our friends that was watching yesterday on the video, I said, where does that a little dabble do you come from? Because I was thinking it came from Fred Flintstone. And she said, no, that came from a hair product commercial. This didn't stick, so we need a little bit more. And then Dabba Dabba Doo came from Fred Flintstone. Some of you are way too young to know anything about that are watching. You're like, are you talking about something ancient? And I guess, yeah. It was a long time ago. Okay, so we've got that set. Now, if you do use glue, I'm getting in my box of blocks. That's just a little bit too wide. Let me grab, well, these are all mounted up, but are we gonna, I don't think we're using this today, so I'm going to put that. I would put this block in it or something like that to kind of press that together and give it some weight, because when I'm making craft fair, a lot of projects like this, I do an assembly fashion. So I'd make this, then I make the next one, then I move the block, etc. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's move on. This project's taking a while. It's because I'm making it. All right, we're going to take that out because we're going to, that was just to show you what I would normally do. Okay, so now we've got this. Now, before we do all this and close up our box, we're going to do our greeting here. So let's grab our little circle. So I punched these circles for you. You have those in your kit. And then Mary, I don't think I mounted that. So let's pull that out. And let's get that on the block. We'll switch it out for a happy that we used yesterday. Okay, let's do Mary. And then on our little green strip there, we're going to stamp Christmas. And I know I used Memento Black for that. I don't really know if Allie used early espresso, and I'm not taking time right now to actually read the directions because I want to move on with this because we have one more card we have to make. That'll go faster than this. Okay, let me put Christmas on here. I like to line up my stamps on my grid paper. And then let's go ahead, let's pull out the memento. And then we do have to do a little holly. I probably should have done that ahead of time. But again, it is a craft along. Now, I gave you pretty long strips. I think your strips were as long as mine, maybe not. But and then if you mucked it up, you could redo it. And once again, Allie on her strips did... she angled them to make flags, and we are going to go the Joey route, and we're just going to angle this like this. I did do it her way on my sample, but we are going to do it this way. This, I think, is 3/8 of an inch by however long you need it to be for your greeting. And now let's stamp Mary and Cherry Cobbler. Now, I've also had the question, will I always get to see the video? And on YouTube, the video stays up, unless I would take it down, which I'll never be taking it down. There'd be no point in taking it down. It's up there to help you, and will help you whenever you're ready to craft. So even if you're looking at this video, oh, I just got ink on that. Even if you're looking at this video a year from now, or even more, it'll be there. It will not, however, be on Facebook. So Facebook initiated a policy. Oh, it's been a couple of months ago, I think. Oh no, we have to make a holly. To take down every Facebook Live that was longer than 30 days. So they'll take it down. It won't stay up on Facebook, but it will stay up on my blog. No, what am I saying? On my YouTube channel. I will put these, I don't have these videos up on my blog yet, but I will. createwithjoey.com. You can find me. My blog. I did put up my Christmas Stamp-A-Stack on the front of my page today, so you can see that one. Okay, now let's go ahead and color. I'm gonna color in the same colors we used before. So I'm just pulling out Old Olive and Cherry Cobbler. Is this Old Olive or Granny? This is Granny. This one. Okay, this one won't take very long. Coloring doesn't take very long when it's these little bits. But let's go ahead and I like red and green. I like non-traditional Christmas colors too, but I do love red and green. They always look nice. You can always count on them looking nice. Is this dark or light, Joe? This is light. I thought maybe it was light. Let's go dark first on this one. And then right at the bottom again, where there I think would be a little bit of a shadow under the berries. And then we'll blend it out with the lighter one. Again, not a perfectionist colorer here, just getting her done. Let's go in here. And I love my blends markers. They're alcohol-based markers, and they do exactly that. They blend. They are true to their name, which is really, really nice. All right. You know what? For time's sake, I'm just going to fussy cut this little holly. There is a die for it. You've already seen me do that. Now you're going to go, why would you ever cut it when you have a die? Well, just because I don't want to bother moving the die cutting machine back into the camera and then moving it out. And sometimes I do cut little things like this when I'm even not filming. But again, for fussy cutting, I'm just moving the paper, the cardstock. What I also do is I should have showed you to do that. I'll put 2 pieces of just white paper in the die cutting machine and the die before it's stamped. Then I stamp it after it's been die cut. It saves some time. I don't know if I have time to show you that today, but I might. I might have time to show you. Now, at a later date. So, listen. Now, Allie shows on hers that she used a little craft magnet here. I don't have those. And you could use a Velcro dot. I actually tried that, and I didn't think it worked very well. So you can tuck in your flap here. Once you put your... This needs to be trimmed a little bit. You know, this is the way of the life with boxes. Sometimes these flaps need to be trimmed a little bit more so that you can get your lid closed. There we go. I think that'll work. So you can close it, but then you're covering up your pretty paper. So if you're going to close it, you might not bother putting paper on the front of it. I'm actually this is what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to just close it with my ribbon. Let's see how well this goes. Let's just tie a bow holding a box closed and see how pretty the bow is. Oh, and she went, wait a minute. Oh, you know what? She didn't wrap it around. Well, we're wrapping it around. That's because she has it closed with her magnetic closure, and I'm not using that. So I am going to just tie this around. Let's see if I can hold this shut and tie my bow all at the same time. Let's try it. I think actually on my sample box, I went around this size, but we're going to go this way today. Maybe if I can pull this ribbon through. And another hint, when you're doing this, it's much easier to do this. That's not a long enough tail. Can't tie a bow with that. With your candy in it. So when I did my craft fairs, obviously, I had my boxes filled with my candy or whatever treat I was putting in my box. Because it gives it that much more weight. I want credit, you guys, I want you to put in the comments, good job, Joey, tying your bow around your box with nothing holding the box closed but the ribbon. I should get a pat on the back for this, right? Well, you're saying, well, you don't really actually even have it closed yet, so we're not going to tell you good job until you get it closed. Okay, there's my box. You know, I probably would tuck mine in, to be honest. I wouldn't put the DSP on the front, but we are doing Allie's box today as close as we can to what she did. And I do like this little pattern. I will use this. Because, listen, the more you do this, the better you get at it. So, I'm going to trim my ribbon. Now, this part, I'm going to grab just a hole punch. You probably have a household hole punch. And I'm going to go ahead and stick this in. I don't know if you can see it. And punch my hole. Let me get this stuff out of the way. This is kind of driving me crazy. Oh, I guess I already had my paper ready for the lid. Well, I'll have that for another project. So let's go ahead and we're going to take the twine now. And I have to open a new twine because I have actually used all my other one. So let's get this out. Probably should have started this before. So this is what I do when I haven't started. I run my thumb along the twine, and that usually brings out the end of it, which it did right there. So we're going to, you know what, let's do that second. Let's go ahead and I'm going to push this twine from the back, actually. I'm going to put, I don't know if I'm in the camera. I'm sorry, you guys. Trying to. Boxes are putzier, especially when you're trying to video it. And I put this in wrong. I need this. Will this work? Maybe it will work. We're going to make it work. Okay, I'm just making that loop. And now I'm going to bring my Mary in here. Well, when using twine, you have to have it not be frayed at the end or it won't go through your hole. So we're going to go through here, and then we're going to bring this up here. Why does this feel wrong to me? I'm going to go ahead and cut my twine just to make it easier to tie this. All right, now, this can be easier, my friends. I think I'm making it harder for you today instead of easier. Now I'm pulling this through, and I'm going to go ahead and tie a bow. Now Allie has hers kind of hanging down, so I'll do mine her way. And so I'm not pulling that right up to the bow. I'm pulling it. In fact, I'm going to make a knot here. With twine, I find it much easier to make a knot first and then do the bow. So there's my knot. And now we're going to do the bow. And pull this through. So there's our cute little twine bow on our gold bow. And we'll put our holly on. I'll show you my other one. I think it looks better than this one because I'm kind of putzing around with this. So then we're just going to stick this guy up here. Let me get a dimensional. I'm going to get a full dimensional because there's room for it. And pull these out. And I hope you're sticking with me. These projects are taking a little bit longer today, but you can always come back and watch the replay. Let's pull our... So there's how it kind of looks from the front, and then we're going to grab our berries. And for this one, we're going to grab the red triple berries here. And let's go ahead and, whoops, get my tool out. I really love these little berries. Stampin' Up! Could not keep these in stock last year. And they're another product that they decided to put in permanently, carry over. So we have that. Now, do I have this right? Let's look at my sample. So, oh no, oh my gosh, we forgot the whole Christmas part of it. Well, that's kind of a problem. All right, let's get this guy on. Should have done this before we did all this, but we didn't do that. So I'm going to turn this over. I'm holding this down, and because I want to know where to put my mini glue dots so that they don't stick my box closed. So again, grabbing my, or not glue dots, mini dimensionals, and I'm going to stay within the circle there. So I'm probably going to put 3 on here, because I want to be sure this sticks, because again, this is a movable part. So we want the movable parts to be got my trash can was flowing over. We want the movable parts to be adhered really well so they don't move. Merry Christmas. There, it's cute. It's cute. Here's Allie's. I know they're cuter standing up. Here's how they look from the top. And see, on my original one that I made, I thought she wrapped it around. And so I wrapped it around, but she didn't. I guess I did put... So you can get these little Velcro dots on Amazon, too, for crafting. Just look up craft Velcro dots. Or look up craft magnets, and you'll see some options there as well. Okay, kids, I know that one took a while because your demonstrator today was just putzing around with the box because she didn't want to mess it up for you. Okay, so there's the 2 we have so far. Put them down so you can see everything. And then I'm going to get out our last project for today. And it's going to be a card. So we're going to do some stamping first on this card. I'm going to get out my Very Vanilla. This is our card that we're going to make. Isn't that pretty and sweet? You can tell Allie, I think, does a little bit more over the top than Julie and I do. I mean, don't get me wrong. Julie and I can be over the top too, but Allie is a little fancier, I think, than we are. But I love her projects. I've admired her for a long time before I met her. I'm just going to cut off a little piece of Very Vanilla here, because we are going to stamp both the poinsettia and the leaves. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. Let's see. Now, I might not have mounted the poinsettia because we didn't use it yesterday. Here we go. And now, I think I shared yesterday, I usually do this when I pull out photopolymer stamp. I usually wipe it on my cleaning mat once or twice just to get any lint off of it. I want it to stick to my block really well. Okay, let's go ahead now. I know for my projects when I made Allie's eye. Oh, you can't even see this, Joey. Jeez, you guys. Technical things, oh my. Okay, you're like, well, it's not that technical, honestly, to stay in the photo. Well, on my end, it is technical. Oh. Did I say I'm so happy you're here with me today? And if you've enjoyed this video, I would invite you to subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow my Facebook page, or I would love a thumbs up, and I love your comments. And as I said, I always come back and read them. If I missed them earlier, I'll be back to read them, so you don't worry about that. All right. Alrighty, let's do some coloring here, and let's get out. We're going to stick with our Old Olive and Real Red, and we're our Darling Duckling. So our Darling Duckling, we're just going to put, there are some dots on this poinsettia, and I'm just going to make sure that they've got a color. Let's grab our Cherry Cobbler. This is Cherry Cobbler Light, I think. Doesn't really matter. Yes, it's light. And then I'm going to go over these lines with the dark, and just, again, not fancy color here. A little maybe extra darkness towards the center of the poinsettia. Grab our lighter one. This is my one that likes to stick, isn't it? We did this yesterday, and the whole part came out. Is this dark? Oh, this is dark. Oh, well, doesn't matter, kids. That's what we did that backwards. Oh, I called you kids again. I taught music, choir music, and for over 30 years. So I feel like when I'm teaching, I revert to that. I don't know. I'm just giving excuses. And now the guys are right in front of my window, putting in my plants. So make sure you follow my page so you can see all the landscaping. That I'll take photos when it's done. Oops. I usually don't color with my paintbrush end. I usually color with just my bullet end. These are very nice guys that are putting in the landscaping. Steve and I used to do all this. We did it all. And I did it all before I even met Steve. But I'm not as young as we used to be. And one time we had a major argument over planting one shrub. I didn't like the way it was sitting in the ground, so we pulled it up a couple of times. And I think that might have been the last time we tried to plant things together, unless we were doing pots. He does help me with my pots. I've got pots out on my porch. I've got pots on my patio down here. I'm downstairs. We have a walkout. And up on my deck. So I've got pots everywhere. Steve helps me with those, but we don't plant together anymore. You know, sometimes you just find things that work better to do on your own, not with your hubby or, you know, your significant other. All right, kids. Darn, I keep saying that. I hope you're okay with that. Maybe if you are an older person, you're like, I like being called a kid. Okay. We are going to die cut today. In case you haven't seen die cutting, we are going to do that today. And if you have seen it, then you know what we're doing. So for die cutting, we need base plate 1, we need plate 2, we need plate 3. Now I'm going to put down my paper, and oh, you guys, how is this for Murphy's Law? They are right. So, you know, I'm here, my window is right there, and they are planting right under my window. Now, granted, we have a whole front and side beds, and there's a new bed on the other side of my patio, but they are working right here. You know, that's how it goes. It's okay. We're just hanging out together crafting, so I guess a little extra noise is not going to bother too much. Now, I've got that set down, so I'm going to grab my Post-it tape. I shared this yesterday. I get this on Amazon too. And, oh dear. Well, that's what happens when you try to get one going 2 instead of 1 at a time. So let's do that. Then I'll grab my cutting plate. I'll run this through. Well, I know I took extra time, you know, on the box, but I really wanted to get it right. So if you're more comfortable with that box pattern, and it's a common pattern to have that little top that folds in, and maybe you've made a lot of those and you're like, why are you like ditzing out over this? Well, because I'm showing you and I just don't want to mess you up, so I want to make sure I was right for you. But the detail, honestly, the photos are very clear, so this one will go faster. The photos are very clear. You won't have any trouble with it when you have the PDF. Now, I did go ahead and I did emboss this through that 3D embossing folder. I just feel like the lighting is not helping you see this. This is mossy metal cardstock. We're putting it on a mossy metal card. Let me see Allie's directions here. Let me flip to that in my PDF. Alrighty, so I did something. No, I did it right. Okay, so we are going to, this piece is, we've got 3 pieces of DSP. I always love a plaid. Don't you love a plaid DSP? Darn, Joe, I don't think I die cut these. Oh, no, they're not die cut, or are they? Hang on, let's read this. Die cut the 3-inch circle from the... Uh-oh. Oh, you know what, you guys? This is the wrong... Okay, so I had a mistake on my first set of directions. Hang tight, hang tight. No, I don't have it. Okay, so I had made a mistake on this particular card. I think it was of Allie's. I don't know whether I told you to die cut these or not. Let me look at my, sorry about this. No, these are, okay, here we go. That's wrong. This is die cut. Oh, I got all confused about this. So we're good. We are good. This piece is 4 by 5 1/4. And now we're going to just, we're not gluing this down yet because we're going to put the DSP here. So this DSP is 3 by 3. So that's going to go up here. And then we're going to get our plaid out. This is 1.5 by 3. So these are going to go like this. Then this is going to go like this. Make sense? We'll go over those dimensions in a minute. Let's get this part together. All right. I know I'm often rattled, but I think I'm a little bit more rattled today with all this activity out my window and not wanting to mess you up on your projects. All right, let's go ahead here. I've got about a ½ an inch all the way around here. You could use glue for this. Probably would be better because you're gluing over the embossed holly. And so I'm going to try and line up a ½ an inch down here too as well, like so. So we have an even about ½ an inch all the way around. Now we are going to tie our gold ribbon around it. And you know what, you guys, my gold ribbon is honestly just about gone. Let me get rid of these guys for a minute. In fact, I'm on the end of it. So I have ordered it. I did put in an order with the free shipping last week, but you know, so did I and everybody else. So my order isn't here yet, and I ordered a couple more spools of the gold ribbon because I go through it. This is an older ribbon. Obviously, it's silver, not gold. But, you know, we're going to get some iridescence on this, so we're going to call it good. But you have the gold ribbon if you bought the kit, and if you get it, if you put in an order this week to get the whole supply kit, I will have my ribbon by then. It's shipped, it just hasn't arrived yet. And I'll make sure you have enough ribbon to do your projects. You'll get all the ribbons, you'll get some berries. You'll have everything you need in your kit. Okay. This is pretty too. This was one of my favorite ribbons. But you know, we have a lot of pretty things, and sometimes they come and go. These ribbons tie such pretty bows. Let me see. This ribbon is a little bit wider, so it's going to make a little bit bigger bow than we made on our original projects. It's pretty though. We're going to go with it. All right, so I wanted to be similar at least to what we already did. Now, oh Lord in heaven, oh, I thought I lost those. Okay, everything's fine. Now, let's go ahead and put this on our card. Mossy metal on mossy metal. Again, now I would use glue on this if I weren't in a hurry for the video, because, you know, we're gluing on, we're adhering this deeply embossed folder. It's a 3D embossed folder, and we're gluing it down, so I would use glue on this. Oh, and now it started raining, so they're trying to plant and it's raining. Okay, let's see, where is my sample card for this one? Oh, good Lord, it's right here. Okay, so now what she did for this one, and we're going to do it today too, is she tied a double bow. Now, what is a double bow? A double bow is just 2 strands of twine or ribbon, whatever you're using, that you just use 2 instead of 1. So I'm going to pull out enough length that I think will work for a bow, and then just cut this end, and I'm going to just treat it as one single ribbon. So did I actually go around? I did go actually around my bow. You could just tie your bow separately and then stick it on with a mini glue dot, but I'm just gonna, I did on my original, I did go ahead and tie it around the bow. Now, those of you that don't love bow tying, you don't have to do this part. You could tie a knot and just fringe it. You could leave the ribbon off entirely if you wanted to. As I said, Allie is very fancy this week on her projects, which we love. You know, I love her projects. I've admired her for a long time, and I was super happy that we found each other to collaborate with, and it's been so fun. Okay, we're almost there, guys. All right, now we're going to grab our memento and stamp our greeting. Okay, I don't think I mounted this one either, so here we go, back to the stamp set. let's go ahead and stick this on our block. Well, let's put it down on our grid paper first to help straighten it out, make sure it's straight. Now I'm matching up the sides of my block with the grid paper as well to keep that straight. Now we're ready. Let's go ahead and ink this up. And let's go ahead, we'll kind of center this on this piece of Very Vanilla. This is the die that's in the set. This is this very die that is in the bundle. It's, you know, that I showed you, it comes with two rectangle labels that come in it. What am I doing? Oh, I want to clean that before I get that elsewhere. This piece of DSP is, this is 2 by 3 1/4. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mount this on here with just tape. Then, I'm going to I'm trying to get this even here. There we go. Now, for dimensionals on this one, I'm going to turn it over again with the greeny side down, because I don't want, now this is going to go up here a little bit higher. I don't want to put dimensionals where that ribbon is. So actually, if you just go for the 4 corners, I'm going to put one in the middle, and then we'll go to all the corners here. We are going to put, you know, we are going to put, I'm going to move that over just a touch. Well, of course, I moved the wrong side. We're going to put that poinsettia and a holly together. I'm just gently pulling this off because I want to move this over just a touch, because I will have a dimensional there with my holly and poinsettia. So I'm going to pull these off like so. And now let's go here with our greeting. Doesn't that look pretty with all the 3 colors of the Designer Series paper? I love it. Okay, there we go. Now we've got our holly and our poinsettia. So what she did for this is we put the poinsettia right on the top of the holly. So I'm putting it on a mini glue dot, and then I am centering it there. And now I'm going to do what we did before. I'm going to kind of turn up those leaves of the poinsettia like we did on the holly on my card yesterday. And I'm going to put this on the corner here of my, and we only have one more step, and we've done all of our projects for today. Now this one, Allie did the same on this one. She colored dot. Let me grab my marker here. She colored one of the pearl dots with the Darling Duckling again. And then that went right on the center of our poinsettia. And then our sweet little Christmas card is done. Now listen, this is not time consuming. The only thing that would take a little more time is stamping your holly. Oh, she turned it the other way. Well, oh wait, you can do it either way you want to. There is our project. Oh my gosh, we have some beautiful things for Christmas today. So what was your favorite project today? Was it card number 1, the fun fold? Or our treat box, or our card number 3? Can you see them? Got to pull them down here a little bit. 1, 2, or 3. Now I can see your comments. I'm so sorry I haven't been visiting with you. Let me look at your comments and visit with you and chit chat. That's one of the reasons I like to do live video, because I get to see you and chit chat with you. Jackie, hi. I'm going to scroll back a little bit. The Post-its and X's were very helpful. Oh, good, Julie. Mary said I did get off the camera. But I think I got back on. Cynthia likes this fussy cut. She finds it relaxing. in my 20 years of stamping, I've never made a box. Julie, you haven't made a box? Listen, I did not make boxes either for quite some time when I started stamping. Georgia says Brill cream. Brie cream, Brill cream. Georgia, for the little dabble, do ya? She's helping help us get factual about my little sayings that I have no idea where they. Oh, Donna is patting me on the back. Thank you. And all the thumbs up. Kathy, thanks for sharing these great Christmas projects. Can't believe July is over. Yes, it is. Hi, Jackie. Jamie, thank you. You guys stuck with me. Thank you. Julie, this one is more your style. Probably mine too as well. Kim likes number 1. Okay, let me bring you back up here. I'm going to tell you the box story in my life. My friend loved to do 3D. One of my friends I first started stamping with, and she used to bring over, we stamped together, she'd bring over projects, 3D projects for us to make together, and I literally hated it. But she loved it, and I wanted to spend time with her, so we did that. Then, as the years went by, I got more comfortable with it because I did more of it, and then there are times where I like to make a lot of 3D projects. I even know how to make my own boxes. I just don't do one as fancy as Allie's. So, but it's not hard. It's just that I make mine a little bit simpler because I have to make a lot of them usually, and I'm making them faster. Okay, my friends, this is day 2 of Christmas in July. We have one more day tomorrow. I hope you'll be back with me tomorrow, and we have a gift card holder tomorrow, another little treat box, and another card. So we've got lots of projects for you tomorrow. Again, thanks so much for joining me. All my links and information about my events coming up are in the video description. Again, if you enjoyed the video and you're still with me, I would love for you to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell if you haven't done that yet. All right, everybody, take care. Thanks so much for being with me today. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.